It's when you're tried down in the valley where life can get
AB on the track.
Listen.
Yeah.
Oh God, the struggle made me stronger. Yeah. Fact. The journey made me stronger. Yeah. Fact. After all is said and done, it only made me better. Yeah. J-Prophet. Yeah. The struggle was worth it, the pain was worth it. Yeah. Now God, you know best, you're always working. All my characters so I could be a better person. Yeah. Now patient with me when I'm slowly learning. Yeah. I'm far from finished but close to perfect. Yeah. Now that's how I'm using my Father love is He can take a broken spirit, fix it, and He gives you victory. Now tell me please, who has done it for me? Nobody did what you did, Lord. Nobody did what you did, Lord. Now you sacrificed your only child to die for our sin, Lord. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful, yeah. The struggle made me stronger. The journey made me stronger, yeah. Word from the wise, listen. Now standing tall doesn't make you a man. Now falling and getting right back up again. Now that's what a soldier consider a man. Yeah. And I'm not ashamed to be holding Jesus' hand. Now call it what you mean, I call it what it is. I'm sick of that people judging me when they really don't know what the brother gotta do just to live. Matter of fact, what I gotta do just to survive, just to get by. When you look in my eyes and you see my struggle and you see my strive, and you really see why Christ had to die for me. Yeah, so I got a lot to give thanks for. Yeah. And I got a lot to be grateful. Yeah. And the patient they waiting just counting my blessings. And the patient they waiting on Jesus returning. Nobody did what you did, Lord. Nobody did what you did, Lord. Now you sacrificed your only child to die for our sin, Lord. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful, yeah. Now today I prayed for my son Jace. Guide him always for the rest of his days. Yeah. And today I prayed, Lord, protect my faith in these troublesome days, in this world full of sin. Yeah. So grateful, I'm so thankful. Yeah. So grateful, I'm so thankful. Yeah, so grateful, I'm so thankful. So grateful, so thankful. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Nobody did what you did, Lord. Nobody did what you did, Lord. Now you sacrificed your only child to die for our sin, Lord. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful, yeah.
You're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Keep it locked.
Yeah. J-Prophet. I got some prophesying to do, man. So let's get it. reminding me five. My God is alive. He loved those he chastised, yeah. Hey, now Revelation 10, he's coming again. Now back to you and me, friend. Okay, I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. Yeah, I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. Yeah, I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. And I know about you, but I put my trust in the Almighty who's coming. Okay, put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. Yeah, I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. And I know about you, but I put my trust in the Almighty who's coming. Okay, people always say that they always hear that from a little bit of younger, but I guarantee you one day with a shadow of a doubt, my Lord is coming. Someone say, pray up. Man, I hold my Bible. Man, I hold my faith. See me turn this one. I know when the enemy try to get rid of me, almost gave up, but the Lord give me remedy. Gotta be kidding me if you really think that I would turn my back on the Trinity. Listen me carefully, I made it from the bottom, I made it to the top, and the Lord made a way when there wasn't no way. So I gotta give thanks and I gotta give praise each and every day. West Bay, Georgetown, Bordentown, East End, North Side, South Side, Gun Bay, put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. Yeah, I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. Yeah, I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. And I know about you, but I put my trust in the Almighty who's coming. Okay, put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. Yeah, I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. Yeah, I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. And I know about you, but I put my trust in the Almighty who's coming. Okay, dear Lord, oh dear Lord, I thank you for my life and everything you did for me. You never turn your back on me, so I stand here rep you faithfully. I tread these grounds carefully, got the enemy when I get the best of me. So I stay prayed up, way up. Good thing I never gave up, like my brother Jacob. If you're waiting on the time to see me fall, then you gotta wait a long time, very long time. Cause I stay connected all day to the truth. I remember the time when mama never had it down. Only prayer, only faith, that's why I'm standing till this day. I say I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. Yeah, I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. Yeah, I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God. And I know about you, but I put my trust in the Almighty who's coming. Okay, put my trust in God.
It's that hour of the morning when we get our day started. I know you have started your day already, but you have not really started it until you have joined the breakfast hour. Today we are speaking about financial matters, and of course that is always a welcome conversation because as we have discovered, we need to be financially literate and we have to be deliberate. So I want to say a special good morning to our viewers on Facebook and on YouTube this morning. A pleasant good morning to you. Good morning to Mikey G, and of course, our financial advisor, the man himself, Richard Bella. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Hour.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, fine and fabulous. Fine and fabulous and terrific as well.
I want to say myself, if I might add, that I am really excited this morning about what tips we're going to be getting today. So without any further ado, I want to say good morning to our listeners, our viewers, and of course, I'm also eagerly awaiting some of these tips and advice that we'll be having. All right, when we come back,
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4, Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Welcome back to the breakfast hour. And of course, without any further conversation, I will just hand over the virtual microphone, the virtual lecture to our financial advisor, and I'm sure he's going to share with us some tips that we can implement in our lives. What do you have to share with us this morning, Richard?
Good morning, listeners. Number of things. Today, I'd like to talk about, of course, finances, but rebirth. You see, we are at the point in time of the year. We hear about Easter and spring cleaning, and I thought that this might be a good time to speak about that. So, hello and welcome to Financial Tuesdays here on Flashpoint, where we talk about your money and your mindset. Now, let's say today is about renewal, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, as spring arrives, we see the sign of new life everywhere. For those in the north, the thawing of the snow and springs of water coming out of the ground. Down in the Caribbean, we find, interestingly, the flowers starting to bloom. You're starting to see some blossoms. You see new growth, right? And with the showers of rains that we have been getting every now and then, you see that greenery coming around. Today, I want to dig a little deeper though. I don't want to just focus on financial, and just talk about a better budget. But we can look at how faith can bring all of this together. What does spring say to you? To me, it's a message from nature saying you can begin again. Maybe our finances have been in a survival mode. That winter of our life, maybe we have tried and failed. And not only that, more than once. But today I want you to know that you don't have to have a fortune to turn things around. You need faith the size of a mustard seed. I mean, after all, that's what the scripture teaches us, right? With faith as small as a mustard seed, we can move mountains. And guess what? That includes your financial mountains too. Why does belief matter? Now, here's the truth. Before you can change your financial situation, you have to believe that it is possible. Faith isn't just about spiritual. It's also very practical. It allows us to discipline ourselves when the money is tight. It allows us to be patient when the results are slow. And it also gives us courage when we are starting over. Faith says this isn't the end, it's just the beginning. So even if you have something that is very small, a tiny seed, with belief, I would encourage us to just go ahead and plant it. Now here's my 3-step approach to financial renewal. 1, let us reflect honestly and not with shame. Last week, Connie spoke about shame. And most of us, when we are financially embarrassed, we really don't want to let others know. And I'm saying nothing quite wrong with that, but don't be shameful about it. Be honest about it. Ask yourself, what habits have been keeping me back? Have I been spending too much at the supermarket on things that I don't need? What lessons have I learned? Release the guilt. Let it go. God's mercies are new every morning, and so can your money habits. Reconnect with a new spirit. Set a goal. Start small. Automate your savings. Track your spending. Whatever it is, just start. Don't wait to be ready. The seed never waits to be for perfect soil. It grows anyway. Rebuild on a foundation of faith. Pray over your plans. I always talk about writing it down. Write it down, pray over it. Invite God into your financial decisions. Ask Him to guide your stewardship. Because it's not just about wealth, it's about purpose. Now, what principles can we learn from the mustard seed? The mustard seed is tiny, about a millimeter in size, but it grows into a tree big enough to give us shade, shelter, and fruit. You may feel small in your financial journey, but with faith and consistent effort, your finances can grow into something strong, sustainable, and life-giving. Now, your mustard seed can be anything. Let your mustard seed be your monthly budget. Let it be $10 saved consistently. Let your mustard seed be the belief that your future can be better than your past. All right. In closing, let this spring don't be just about cleaning your home, not just about cleaning your closet. Clean your heart, clear your financial path, and plant that mustard seed of faith. Remember, just like spring, your financial comeback starts with one small seed, that small seed of faith. Plant it today and watch it grow. Until next time, I would like you to stay financially focused and stay faithful. Thank you very much. I'm Richard Thelwell for Financial Tuesdays.
Well, I want to say thank you for, short and spicy. This morning's experience for us is about faith in the concept of faith, the mustard seed faith that moves mountain. I have listened to this, you saying it, and I've watched me doing it, and I've seen it happening. And so I'm now able to hear something that I am acquainted with. Many times you speak, and I'm looking at the conversation, but today you have affirmed some of my actions. And so this is where I am now learning that I have also been doing some things right, even though I have not known that I was doing it in the correct way. And so today, faith-based experiences in going forward in financing is what I take away from this one. I want to thank you for this morning's experience. I think our listeners are actually excited about this one, because some people didn't connect faith with money and prosperity and the ability to move forward.
All right. Well, I'm happy that I was able to share this morning. And as usual, you can get to me at broker@richardthewell.com. My posts are right here on Flashpoint. So feel free to connect with me and to reread these posts and watch the videos as they come along.
Thank you so much, Richard. I am so encouraged by the presentation this morning. Like spring, plant that mustard seed, and no matter how small it is, just that one step is important. Thanks for that reminder, because certainly it transcends in finance. And somebody needed that encouragement today. We all needed that encouragement today. And I certainly thank you for that one. And continue to bring all the content here on Flashpoint. So we are looking forward to what you will bring to us come next week too. I know the Easter period, people are spending But remember all that you have learned over these weeks and certainly implement the actions in your spending and budgeting as well.
Money Tuesday, right here on Flashpoint. Of course, when we come back, we will, of course, discuss a little bit more about how we can make our finances better. I am going to be talking about that later on, but of course, maybe a private conversation. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for this morning's experience. Money matters.
Ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine, your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
Say good morning. We're having too much fun here this morning. Good morning again, all listeners or viewers this morning. Financial faith based financial abilities. I've thought about these things, but to hear it come out in a presentation, it's a little bit more sobering to hear it. Hearing the conversation like that, it. Yes, you were saying.
A very interesting conversation and a very refreshing one. I love the tone of the presentation. I love the reassurance and the peace that it brought, because certainly when we think about finances, sometimes we become anxious, especially when our money runs out before the month. And of course, it is the middle of the month and you're thinking that I have all these things that I need to accomplish for the remainder of the month, and you're wondering how are you going to stretch it out. So we have used terms stretching your dollar and all of that. We have to use all of these terms. So for our financial advisor to remind us, yes, it's the beginning of spring. What can we do? Plant that small seed and watch it grow. It might be budgeting or maybe something that you choose that you will sacrifice, not do this time, save $1, 50 cents, something for the rainy day. Start your emergency fund. That's something that we can certainly do. And so we want to thank our listeners and viewers, those who have tuned in and have joined us. I know that you're getting ready for the long weekend. If you're here in the Caribbean, it would have been Good Friday, right? And of course, the long weekend, you would also have Easter Monday. A lot of fun and cheese and other things, a lot of activities, and planning the trips and your traveling and all of that. And so we plan to be here with you during all that. No matter where the globe you are, you can always count on Flashpoint to show up for you and share information as it unfolds. And so recently I've been looking on that conversation. I think I discussed it with Mikey G, where of course that is making the social media rounds. If you have not seen it yet, Ryan Day, a pastor from Indiana, come out and said, I have some questions as it relates to Adventism, and certainly it is making its rounds and persons are tuned in.
Lots
and
of questions.
Course, when I listened to his statement, and of course he said, Adventist people, we like controversy. So as soon as you hear that something not going right, persons, of course, are logged on and latched on to that. And of course, we are going to be spending some time to delve deep into some of the questions that he expressed.
Having said that, ladies, controversy is where Adventism was born in. And so for us not to understand that controversy is where we're going to be continuing in, we are having a big problem. We are studying a very powerful lesson this week. The Gomer woman, that harlot, wife of the prophet of God, and likened unto God's church. When you hear these things, it's not as simple as just listening to it. Is God's church like a harlot right now? Yes. Is it what we're talking about? And so let's look at these things. And I'm very interested in talking about this new emerging situation that is coming up. And I think some statements will be made from it that will be a lot of trigger for other persons, because by it being a trigger, we are going to identify wheat and tares with this conversation. And if it triggers you, you know where you are.
All right, so on that note, I will share with the listeners quickly what's happening today, not only in our neck of the woods, but around the world. And of course, let's see. Today is World Art Day, Titanic Remembrance Day.
Well, being a captain, I am not subscribing to being a captain for a ship, because I understand the last person up to come off the ship is the captain. And the last time I checked the Titanic, the captain sank with the Titanic. Now, I would have to take one of the lifeboats and secure myself and probably court-martial, and then I'll be in jail for a while, and then I'll come out.
Okay, so here's what's very important and interesting. And one of the conversations we have been having is the importance of history, the importance of recalling these events and things that have happened in our past that certainly shape our present circumstance and also future as well. And so Titanic Remembrance Day begins by saying, songs have been sung, books have been written, films have been made, and stories have been told about the RMS Titanic. Of course, losing a record number of people, including some famous and noteworthy folk like the ship's architect and various others. The infamous Titanic sank on its maiden voyage just 4 days into its journey. This day marks the anniversary of the sinking of the ship, also known as Titanic Remembrance Day. And of course, it is one of those sad memories. One interesting way to celebrate the Titanic Remembrance Day might be to spend time learning about some of those who were on the ship, who survived and lived to tell about it. Take a look at some of these unique people. And I have a list here. Violet Jessop, Charles Lightoller, and of course, the Titanic was a first-class luxury liner. This ship was meant to cater to the very rich, offering all sorts of amenities such as a gymnasium, Turkish bath, squash courts, and more. It was the first ship to ever boast having a swimming pool on board the ocean liner. The Titanic had 2 sister ships, the Olympia and the Britannic, were 2 other ships built at the same time with similar specifications. The Britannic sank in 1960 after only 2 years of use, and the Olympic lasted 25 years before it was retired and scrapped. The Titanic was a ship that carried mail. The reason the name of the ocean liner was RMS Titanic is that the letters stood for Royal Mail Ship.
Very interesting, and just to think about the idea, and I watched the movie because I was not around in 1920, or around the time when it was.
Titanic sank on April 15, 1912.
Wow, it was way further than I thought. And so,
Yes.
being not around at that time, it tells me that I myself, just watching the movie is a reenactment of the actual event
Yes.
that took place. And by virtue of that, I am now exposed to this tragedy that took place.
Yes.
you know.
Over 1,500 lives were lost. Yes. So of course, just a quick note: the luxury ship, which was built starting in 1909, cost around 7.5 million to build, and 2 workers were lost in the process of building it. And one of the most important lessons learned about the Titanic is that even though many people thought it was unthinkable, it is always necessary to have enough lifeboats on board for everyone.
Call and say, hello, Miss Lee. Yes, it's me, Earthquake. I come in Tuesday around 10. No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced. And when it comes, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, hover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up are full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without air. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care of yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, don't want to run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Looking to build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509.
We have had a good morning so far, an excellent morning, and I'd add, of course, our financial advisor gave us a very reassuring thought, speaking about spring and new beginnings and planting that seed and believing and being faithful in making deliberate steps on your journey. And of course, we also had a conversation prior to the break where we are recalling that today is Titanic Remembrance Day. And if you don't know anything about the Titanic, this is your opportunity to certainly go and research. Why is it important for us to know our history? We say that it actually shapes our present circumstance and our future. And one of the things that would have been the lessons learned, of course, 1,500 lives lost on the maiden voyage of that unsinkable ship. And the message to us, so many lessons to learn. There weren't enough life jackets on board that ship. Do you have your life vest, as you sail the turbulent seas of life and the stresses that it brings for, no matter what the circumstance? So much reassurance this morning. Even though we recall the tragedy, we also remember the lesson. That voyage was from New York to England, and of course 4 days into the sailing of the ship itself. So I'm going to just share some facts before we have the news. The Titanic sank April 15, 1912. How many persons survived? 706 human survivors and 2 dogs survived the shipwreck. Can the Titanic be made again? A replica called Titanic 2 has been in the works for more than a decade. It was planned to set sail in 2022, but finances have continued delays. And of course, the Titanic broke in half after hitting the iceberg. The Titanic broke in half, sending boats turn and go to the ocean floor. And they were only able to recover the wreckage in 1985. And in 2009, the final Titanic survivor died.
What a tragedy. What a tragedy. Yeah, but as I said, I watched the movie, ladies, and watching that movie.
That movie is, I think it's about 4 hours long. It's one of the longest movies.
With all the story that need to be told?
Yes, it was a very, very emotional one. And of course, right now we are documenting tragedies because as I looked down memory lane and we are thinking and talking about the Titanic, one thing that comes to mind is the recent earthquake, right? That there were over 2,000 persons who lost their lives in that earthquake. And we just recently recalled as well the roof that collapsed over there in Dominican Republic. Over 200 persons lost their lives. There's so much tragedy. We don't have to look very far back in history. We don't have to go back to 1912. So many things are happening around us. But we are still believing that God is still in control of this world. It's not just spinning out of control. And we still trust God, even though we can't figure out why some of these things happen. So as we prepare to get out of studio right now, I know you have the news ready for us to hear what's happening, not only in Cayman, but the rest of the world. So stay tuned and hear more what's happening.
Of course, when we come back from these messages.
Tuesday, April 15th, and these are the news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. I'm Corey Karen. General election set for May 22. The Cayman Islands will go to the polls on Wednesday, May 22, as announced by the Elections Office. Voter registration has officially closed, and candidates across the islands are now intensifying their campaigns. The Supervisor of Elections reminds all eligible voters to check their polling stations and identification documents ahead of the big day. Advanced polling will be held for the elderly and differently abled. Miss Global International comes to Cayman. History is being made as the Miss Global International pageant is hosted in the Cayman Islands for the first time. Contestants from across the globe touched down over the weekend to begin their week of activities leading up to the coronation this Sunday, April 20, at the luxurious Hotel Indigo starting at 7 p.m. Pageant director Miss Devonia French says this year's theme celebrates Caribbean excellence and female empowerment. Fuel prices dip slightly. Cayman motorists will see a modest dip in the pumps this week, with gas prices averaging $5.09 per gallon, down from $5.20 last week. The Petroleum Inspectorate says prices may fluctuate again as global crude prices respond to Middle East tensions. And in news over in Jamaica, National Housing Trust announces new program. The National Housing Trust will be rolling out a new initiative targeting low-income earners with 0% mortgage options for select contributors. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement during a tour of housing developments in St. Catherine, stating, "We must ensure that every Jamaican can own a home. This is how we build wealth and security." The NHT is also looking at increasing its income ceiling for first-time borrowers. Those were the news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. Please stay tuned for more updates throughout the day.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
Welcome back to Breakfast Hour. And of course, what we plan for the good lady, in which she has presented the news this morning. As we head out of here, we want to leave you with a reassurance that God's got you. Despite the circumstance that you face today, I want you to just know that you can put your trust in Him because He is faithful. So I want to say from the Breakfast Hour team, the Flashpoint team, we want to wish you a wonderful and a productive day. Thank you so much for tuning into the Breakfast Hour. Join us same time, same place, and remember to stay connected to Flashpoint, www.flashpointmedia.ky all day, every day. And of course, Connie J joins us later, just before you die your bed. So there's a lot happening here on Flashpoint, and if you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Have yourself a productive day.
Of course, remember it is also Wellness Wednesday tomorrow, right here on Flashpoint. So please stay tuned for tomorrow morning's experience. We're going to be having some questions that need to be answered about our health. And of course, Dr. K will be on tomorrow at, as usual, 7:30 in the a.m. And of course, remember, breakfast hour begins at 6:30 a.m. Of course, on our radio, www.flashpointmedia.ky. Radio starts. We start our streaming around 7:15 in the morning, and of course our health advice will come up at 7:30 in the a.m. Of course, news and all the other flares that we have comes on next. Remember, stay tuned to Flashpoint all day, every day. Continue to enjoy what we do. Have yourself a great day, and of course, ta-ta. There was something I wanted to say to the ladies, but at the time short, I can't say it. Politicians are very interesting people. I will say this. The politics is closed in Cayman. In Jamaica, they come up with a manifesto. The leading government will take those manifestos, make them into law now, and then null those persons. They can't commit anything anymore. It's unfair a little bit. But I can't talk about it now. I got to go. Bye, people. I have to say that.
The conversation. We'll come back to that conversation right with you.
I had to say it. It just burned in my mind. I had to say it. I couldn't leave. Anyways, guys, I just want to say that. Just think about it.
Thank you again for joining us. Thank you. See you again next time.
All right.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, and we'll all see Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate? At least now I'm feeling better. I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom?